Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another Saturday morning cartoons. We are here this morning for a very special episode, and Diana even did a brand new overlay for this and everything. Um, this is a continuation of our Iron Dust and Blood campaign with a single member of our party that sort of split away before Thursday evening's episode. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you're playing today?
Well, howdy, y'all. I'm Lord Fancy. I'll be playing Ulrich Wolf today, the stalwart bounty hunter.
Stalwart. What a good and underused word. We all have our coffee and we are ready to get rolling. I just want to show off my cool new mug. Check out that mustache guard there.
Oh, so nice.
This is from a fellow Beardo that was the world champion at the 2017 World Beard and Mustache Championships. No big deal. Um, and he does earthenware mugs for people with beards and mustaches. And Diana got this for me because she felt bad because I broke my old mug. And I'm very pleased. Um, so we are not going to talk about what happened on Thursday mornings or Thursday evenings episode because Ulrich doesn't know what happened when the Monroe ladies burned down the farm and whatnot. But quick recap: we left Ulrich as he had just, how do they say, aggressively questioned a member of some sort of we don't know. We don't know what he had going on, but he actually I should probably pull up my notes, huh? Be a good storyteller. He threatened a lot and seemed to have some sort of nefarious disposition, and uh, you know, accidents happen, and he didn't make it. But Sheriff Rex and Deputy Wolf, yes, he's been deputized officially by the town of Big Springs, Nebraska, uh, worked up a plan to disguise Ulrich as Nathaniel Caldwell and head back towards town, just to, maybe throw anyone off the scent that was looking for the murdered, I mean, killed gunslinger and Pinkerton detective. So after the funeral for Mr. Monroe, Ulrich rode away from the farm on his horse, dressed as another man. Um, I had encouraged him to the afterlife. Yes. Um, oh, one quick announcement before we get into the story here. We are at 17. As soon as that our goal gets to 25, we will be giving away a set of Die Hard dice. So encourage your friends. Any other announcements? We do have our voice of God today, Diana, who is in chat, but she might chime in at some point if need be.
I don't think that we have any other announcements other than the fact that you and I. Well, sort of. I can wait.
We'll talk about some stuff at the end as well.
Yeah. I think that's probably better. Let me absorb this coffee and try and figure out what we have to talk about.
Yes. Okay. All right, Ulrich. We come back to you as you ride away from the Monroe Ranch, heading back towards town, dressed in a dead man's clothes. What's going through your head? You did just aggressively question a gentleman and have his brain sprayed all over your face, and then you put another man that you didn't really know that well, but by all counts was a good man, into the ground, and you've had a tumultuous couple days.
Yeah, I suppose the only thing going through my mind right now is how it is I'm gonna prevent the consequences of these actions from befalling these people. Yeah, it's been an unfortunate and crazy couple of days. Led me away from my target, then back on, and now I'm going a little sideways, but the right actions must be taken.
You are fairly concerned about the fact that you put down a Pinkerton detective in the middle of the town, are you not?
No, most certainly.
Yeah. With several witnesses. Now, the argument could be made that you acted in the defense of your compatriots because the gentleman was exiting with both his smoke wagons peeled. But that's in a court of law. And as we know, the Wild West isn't necessarily known for its standard judiciary proceedings. Especially if a couple of the Pinkertons' friends come to town, then we get into the semantics of law of might, as it were. He who has the might makes the right.
I would be lucky enough to stand before a judge in this situation.
Truth. Give me a listen check as you're riding away. The sun is going down behind you, and you're about half an hour, 45 minutes as a slow pace away from town.
Nope.
You don't seem to hear anything as you continue down the road. Now you're not unused to solo travel, but it does seem as if there's a little bit more of a chill in the air, a little darker, perhaps than you're used to. But it might all just be in your imagination as you continue the lonely trek out of town. Now you do have a coin in your pocket, if you recall.
Yeah, it's well, I got the Pinkerton badge. I've also got some coin with some strange depiction on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a coin with a coiled serpent on one hand, or one side, and then on the other side there was another serpent with 4 heads. Your ride back to town is largely uneventful, and as you get closer, you notice the sun has completely gone down behind you, and you see that a train has arrived in the town of Big Springs ahead of you. The road to town doesn't run directly with the railroad. You know, it veers off away from the Monroe Ranch as it heads up towards Cheyenne. But you're able to see the telltale plume of engine smoke in the distance. Give me one more listen check just to see if you hear something else completely unrelated.
That one was a success.
Regular success?
Yep.
You hear something behind you in the direction of the Monroe Ranch that you can't quite place. It sounds almost like a roar or a not necessarily explosion. It might be an explosion, but it'd be a very soft one if it were. And the gentle roar of a fire in the distance, but you can't. You look behind you for a second, and then it's gone, and the hills, the gentle rolling hills of the Nebraska plains hide any view of the ranch, but something kind of alerts you in the back of your head just a little bit. But you are not dissuaded from your path, and you continue on to town. How would you like to approach the town?
Well, considering I am acting in part of this Mr. Caldwell, first could I take a survey of who's milling about at this time of evening?
Um, excuse me. Yeah. Are you going to continue down the road directly into town, or are you going to go in a roundabout way? How are you approaching? And then we'll, as you get closer, you'll be able to see some more details.
Uh, I'd probably skirt around the side.
Okay. The train side or the opposite side? So the way the town is laid up, there's a main street, and that's kind of where the events of the previous day. Actually, it was that morning. Holy shit! The events of that morning took place. Was right down Main Street, and that's where, you know, your saloon / hotel is, the sheriff's office, the doctor, dentist, barber office, a couple other, your general store, the main businesses of town. The way that you're approaching, off to the right is the edge of town where the railroad station is, the depot, and that's where the railroad tracks come into town and then depart. And then on the far side of the railroad tracks is the spring, the big spring that gave the town its name. Going to the other side of Main Street is the less desirable trades, the ones you don't want right there in the main town. So there's a tannery out that direction. Your blacksmith is further away from the main part of town in case, you know, something flares up. And then there's some houses that move out that direction.
You know, my curiosity always gets the better of me, especially when there's somebody with a bounty on their head. And although I'm trying to skirt away anybody who may be coming into the town, I'm going to take my way around by the railroad side, see if I can just overhear anything or see anything as I come up there.
Okay. There's the railroad is built up on kind of a berm, and you come around the right side of town there. It's called the south side. So you're approaching from the south, and you see that there is a flurry of activity going on around the train station. The train is blocking your direct view of the depot, but there is a couple of the train workers are going back and forth from the spring to refill the water on the steam engine and make sure that they're cooling down the engine and all those train things that I don't know what they actually are. Here's the part in our story where I caveat, this is actual, like, it's taking place in an actual place in the 1800s of the United States, but this is a fantasy world, and anything that I get wrong, I did on purpose. You don't see anybody that you know. You do notice that there are two armed gentlemen standing on top of the train. You notice the silhouette of their hat and the telltale sign of rifles. It's not an extremely long train. You've got the engine and the caboose, and in between there are two heavily armored cars, and your fuel train, the two armored cars, one more sort of, it's got windows, so it could be a passenger train or car, and then the caboose.
Okay. I'm going to continue forward.
Roll me stealth.
Hard success.
Hard success. You're able to, your time on the plains and bounty hunting has uniquely prepared you for a situation like this. So you get down in among the sagebrush and the grass, and you start to shimmy your way forward. Oh, actually, I guess, are you still on your horse? That would determine.
Hey, you know, you're telling the story.
Okay, sorry. I got a little ahead of myself there.
I did honestly imagine I would still be on the horse.
If you're gonna, approach on your horse, you're going to have to roll disadvantage on your stealth if you're trying to be sneaky.
No.
Failure.
Yep.
So you come forward on your horse, and a voice sounds out when you're about 100 yards away. Who's that? And one of the gentlemen on top of the train turns and points their rifle at you. And the other one, you notice there's strict discipline here. As the one turns and directs their question and gun at you, the other one immediately stands up alert and begins scanning the horizon in the other directions.
Name's Caldwell.
You get a strange response as the guard says, sorry, I have a reveal here, and I'm trying to allude to it without the guard says, what else is new? Come into the light.
I continue forward.
Once you get within range, the person on top opens a spotlight lantern and shines the light directly on you.
I'm nodding my head.
You keeping your head kind of down?
Yeah. You gotta have that thing so bright.
You know we can't be too careful. Come on up to the station. We got the packages in tow.
Good. I'll be glad to be rid of this damn town.
He's gonna peer at you a little bit closer, as best he can from a distance. Go ahead and roll me. I don't think disguise is a great. We're gonna do a combined roll here.
Okay.
Your disguise is not great, is it? 5%. Let's do a persuade, and add 5 to whatever you get for your disguise.
Okay. My persuade was a regular success.
Okay.
I'm gonna use 3 luck to get a regular success on disguise.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. No alarm is sounded. He just kind of motions you around to the platform.
Okay.
Now, are you going to go towards the tail end or the front?
Well, seeing as these are the people I was concerned about, and they're packing something up, they're packing it into. There's armored cars after or before the caboose, and then in the front of the train, they're loading it into just a regular car.
Nope. So they're the activity at the front of the train is the engine operators. They're loading up water and fuel and things like that. So it's the engine, the fuel car, the 2 armored cars, on top of which are the 2 guards. There's one more sort of passenger-y type train, and then the caboose.
Okay. So there aren't people loading cargo. They're just supplying the train for driving.
Yep.
Right. Then I'll head to the back.
Okay. Are you going to attempt to peek in, or are you just walking around?
Are there windows?
In the passenger train side, there is that third car. The 2 armored cars, they are almost like cattle cars with the slats through them.
Is there any writing or depictions on them?
Nope. Those 2 are pretty plain, and the slats for what you can presume are gun ports are above your head even as you ride the horse.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like take a side glance as I trot by, and then at the passenger car, I'm gonna continue to hold that side glance and see what I see inside.
As you walk past or trot past the passenger train, you can see through to the other side, and there are lights on, lanterns burning on the platform. And it's not super clear glass. It's kind of got that bubbly nature to it. So by the time you see through one and through the other, you can't really see what's on the other side. But there are people on the platform. And roll me a spot hidden as you go past the passenger train.
Look at that one. Holy shit. That is a hard success by 1.
With a hard success, as you go by, you notice the train car. It's got benches in it. You've seen wooden benches like you would see in a passenger train. And there are about 12 individuals in there. They are all dressed similarly to you. They are all facing straight ahead. And with a hard success, you notice that every single one of them has the exact same face. And that face is the same face as the gentleman that you know as Nathaniel Caldwell. Please roll me a sanity check.
Where's my sanity? Oh, there it is. That is a failure by 10.
All right. Hold, please. I have to consult the rule book here as to what happens because I can't remember. And I looked at it before because I was hoping you would fail. I mean, no storykeeper ever plans for that, right? But I forgot how the actual mechanics work. Because I think you roll an intelligence check next. And that actually determines the
Well, it's
the
a good thing I'm
danger
a
that you're
smarty.
actually in. You actually want to fail the intelligence check. It's one of my favorite things about Call of Cthulhu because if you pass the intelligence check of an insanity, it means that not only did you see something crazy that kind of unhinged your mind for a moment, but you also know you're smart enough to know the full gravitas of said situation. I should have had this bookmarked. I apologize. There we go. The suspense is building.
What in the world? One face was ugly enough. I can't imagine a dozen.
Yeah, and you did just get his
Wear
brains
it.
splattered all over your face. Yeah. All right. So you failed said sanity check.
Yep.
So yes, go ahead and roll me an intelligence check.
If there was ever any time to get 100, this would be it. I got a hard success on that intelligence check.
Okay.
Damn it. It was close to an extreme success. That's how good of a roll that was.
Just what you want, or rather what I want. So we are going to... So roll me a d6.
All right. 6.
Oh, Jesus. This might be a real short episode, guys. So you lose 7 points of sanity.
Yeah.
As
Well, let me
this
click it. There we go.
Yeah. All right, you're gonna have a temporary bout of madness here. As you look into this train car and you see, combined with the events of last episode where you aggressively questioned this individual and had his life abruptly ended, very much in your face, and now you are seeing 12 identical copies of this gentleman. You're still wearing his clothes, Ulrich. You put on the clothes of this thing in front of you, and you are going to have, let's see here, where's my D10? Oh boy, you're going to develop a phobia. That's strange. No, I'm going to audible that because this is going to be a one-on-one. Is hard to have a real insanity-inducing moment. So what we're going to do is you're actually going to open your mouth and start just, it's like this high-pitched, like as your mind tries to comprehend what's happening here, and you are actually going to spur your horse and flee in a panic.
Yeah.
As you, even through your terror-induced mind, as this high-pitched squeal starts to emit from your vocal cords, one, you realize that's not a sound you've ever made before. It's almost as if you're having an out-of-body experience where you're standing here on your horse. Wait, you don't stand on a horse. You're sitting on your horse and stepping back as your body just goes through this process. And you notice all heads in that train car turn in unison and look at you, and that is the moment where your body takes over and you spur your horse and take off running away from town.
All right.
You charge.
Shot in the back.
Yeah, bang, bang. You charge recklessly into the night, heedless of railroad tracks and sagebrush, and you how dark do we get here? You push your horse to the very limits of its capabilities. You ride hell-bent for a full 45 minutes until your horse starts gasping and wheezing underneath you. And suddenly its front legs just give out and you go pitching, tumbling over the top of it. Actually, roll me a roll me an animal handling and a dexterity. Roll me animal handling, and then we'll determine that. We're gonna roll a dexterity.
Real big fail on animal handling, and a regular success on dexterity.
Okay, with a fail on animal handling, roll your dex at disadvantage.
That would have been so good, but still just a regular success.
Regular success. So you are thrown from the saddle, and normally, you've basically lived your whole life in a saddle, so as its legs drop out from underneath it and starts to do that tumble, you try to kick free and do a tuck and roll, but you're still sort of out of sorts, and you hit the ground with a and it knocks the breath out of you, and you take 1 point of superficial damage, regular damage. You sort of stand up and come to as you take a moment to look around, and one, you have no idea where you are. It's dark. There is a crescent moon rising above you, and you're definitely out of breath. You're almost hyperventilating as you look around and try to determine your position based on the stars and the moon around you, but everything is sort of spinning around you. Your vision is sort of darkening around, and you're going into a narrow. You take just a moment to recover. Give me yeah, go ahead and give me another sanity check. This is not going to determine if you're going more or less insane. This is just to determine how well you're recovering here.
Well, I just fucking lost 3. Or 7. I lost 7. I succeeded. Regular success.
Regular success. The world stops spinning around you, and you're able to take a few deep breaths and steady yourself. And you take a look back at your horse, and it didn't survive the tumble.
Do I still have my weapon?
Yep. You cast about. You're able to find. Your saddle's still there, and you've got your. You carry you have the Monroe family rifle,
Yep.
as well as 6 shooters. Correct.
Yep.
I think you have a couple. So those are still on your hips. You cast about, and you do see the borrowed hat that's there, and you're able to find all your items and your saddle and saddlebags.
Ooh. My body's feeling relatively hot. I'm just not even going to touch the hat. I'm going to discard his jacket. Grab the guns. Anything I can carry. Maybe one of the saddlebags over my shoulder.
Saddles are like your saddle itself is. It's not light, but it's expensive. A saddle is one of the most expensive things that you would own as a individual.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where I am. Thinking about time, I'm not sure how long I was going, and I'm going to need any energy I got right now in order to make it back. I know how dangerous it can be with coyotes, wolves, bobcats, wolverines, you name it. A bear? Tough luck.
Not outside the realm of possibility. You roll me a natural world check.
Just straight 20 success.
Regular success. All right. You cast about. Once you kind of gather your belongings, you've got your rifle slung over your shoulder, you got your 6 shooters on your hip, and you got saddlebags, which probably have your most important possessions on them, your cash, your immediate grabbing money, any other smaller items that are essential, your flint and steel, things of that nature. And you cast about, look up at the stars, and you're not a city folk, right? You're not a greenhorn. You've lived out here on the plains, from the American Southwest all the way up to where you are now for your entire life. And you're able to cast about and look at the stars and notice at least the general direction. You feel like you need to head north and west to head back towards town. Assuming, of course, you want to head back towards town. I guess that is up to you.
That's my only point of reference so far.
And you do know that that is the closest civilization to where you are.
Yeah. I'm amazed I didn't get chased after or shot, though I'm sure I wasn't even in the mind to notice it if it had happened. Though I need to recover at the very least, so I need to head back to town.
Okay. You begin trudging. It's sort of at resigned. You don't really have anything else to do, right? You're stranded, you're hurt, you're exhausted, your brain is reeling from what you just saw.
Mm-hmm.
And you just start trudging in that direction. Roll me just a straight Constitution.
Failure.
You begin this slow, weary wandering, and your body just starts to sag. Your eyes are getting heavy. It's been a rough couple days. You got a couple hours of sleep the night previous after wandering through the cave, but you haven't had a great night's sleep. You just had a very traumatic experience, and your feet start to drag. You do hear a distant coyote howl and yip in the a lonesome coyote yip in the distance as the moon continues to rise overhead. You can judge it's about midnight. You don't know. And extrapolating back, you can tell about how long you rode. It's going to be a long walk. You keep going. Roll me another natural world check.
Failure.
Okay. And roll me a Constitution check at disadvantage now.
Regular. Disadvantage, so I take the higher. Regular success.
Okay. You sort of get turned around and the world starts to spin around you, and you take a few more stumbling steps and start to the sleep is really catching up with you, but you shake it off. You can't remember the last time you ate anything. You can't remember the last time you drank anything. You've kind of got just dust coating your tongue, especially from the fall. Give me a luck check, just straight luck.
I got all zeros. That's a failure, right?
That's
100?
bad. That's real bad. That's 100. Okay. So as you're this is going to come back to haunt you a couple times, just for the record.
This has been the worst rolls I've ever had so far, but
I couldn't be happier. You as you stumble about, you look up at the stars, you've lost your bearings, and you reach back for the water skin that you grabbed. You know that you wouldn't leave your water skin. And you go to wash the dust out of your mouth, and you find your water skin, but apparently you fell on it when you got cast from your horse, and you didn't even notice when you picked it up, and it's been smashed, so you just have this broken canteen, I guess you would be carrying at this time.
Fuck.
Roll me another natural world.
Another failure.
Okay. And roll me Constitution at disadvantage.
Another failure.
You sling your canteen to the ground. You look around. You start to get this wave of dizziness that passes over you, and you sort of stumble to your knees, and take one last breath, and then just kind of fall over with your head gently resting on the saddlebags that you had cast over your shoulder. You drift off into a hazy, not restful sleep. And you sort of come to in that dreamscape that we all sort of know, where you know that you're dreaming, but at the same time you can't wake, and you can't seem to control the actions of your dream self. You're just staring, sort of looking through the eyes at the same time as seeing from above. And it doesn't appear that there's a ground, but you're standing on something solid. And as you sort of cast about, the area around you sort of coalesces into this blue-gray fog. And your dream self sort of swings his arms and tries to clear away the fog. And you hear a voice from your childhood, and it's your father. And he's saying, Ulrich, what are you doing? Stop messing about. And you have a vague memory of that voice and that sentence from when you were a kid playing, and your father was a no-nonsense man, and he was always attempting to keep you on the straight and narrow. And that particular time, you remember you were playing in a barn, and you were hiding from your dad, not in a malicious way, but he was ready to go, and you wanted to play, and you had climbed up in the hayloft, and he says, Ulrich, this is no time to mess about. We've got to get going. Where are you? And just as you start to leap up and say, hi, Dad, your foot goes through a rafter in the barn, and you actually tumble out. You remember this very distinctly because it was one of those childhood moments that sort of, I don't want to say took away your innocence, but it was that moment where father's teachings of no messing about and that can always lead to consequences was very real in a child's mind, because you tumbled out of that hayloft and you broke your arm, and you just remember it's that disapproving disappointment from your father, where he does all the right things, but you don't get much familial warmth from it, and you proceed. The dream self is walking through this mist of memory, and it plays through several of these choices that you've made in your life, that help to form who Ulrich is. I'm gonna put you on the spot here for you to yes and give me another memory that sort of formed a young teenage Ulrich. And if you don't feel like doing this, absolutely tell me. I don't want to put you too much on the spot, but
well, honestly, my father, even though he was constantly trying to put me on the straight and narrow, keep me with a decent head on my shoulders, no messing about, he didn't want me to have a gun, though it was something that many men and even other young men about my age were starting to wear about. And I was rather disappointed in this. And so one day I took one of my father's guns and thought that I would show him how much of a man I was and that I was capable of handling such a thing. Taking it out back to the firing range, I popped off a few rounds and ended up hitting a neighbor boy. Wasn't fatal, thankfully, but I'll tell you what, the punishment I got from that is something that's I still remember.
And you as you're progressing through these life choices, and you remember the stinging switch across your legs and backside as your father, he was not stingy with the corporal punishment when he thought it needed to be dispensed. And beyond that, the labor that you had to do that summer and that fall, not only did you need to work your own families. Now, your father was a judge, but everybody kept a garden, a vegetable patch to keep everything up. You had to get up early in the morning, every morning, 4 a.m., and work late on that family, your neighboring family's farm, to make up for the fact that you injured this other gentleman during prime harvest season. And you learned some valuable lessons. Those blisters didn't go away for a very long time. And as you continue, you remember, now Ulrich is younger. He's only 26, right? But you've packed a lot of life into those years. At a younger age, maybe 16, 17, you probably left your father's controlling thumb to seek your own fortunes. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
And you could never escape his shadow, though. Everybody in this region knew who he was, as a judge. And as you think that your dream self, this shadow comes out of the darkness and just casts itself across you, and you feel a chill run down your spine. And you hear your father's voice again. Ulrich, I am very disappointed in you. And that was his catchphrase. Whenever you had done something wrong, it right before he, before or after, he wore your tanned your hide, as they say. That's the words that would seep into your mind. Ulrich, I'm very disappointed in you. With that finality of a judge delivering a sentence. And that's why you ran off to the southwest for a time, and attempted to seek your fortunes down there. And you've lived a lot of life for a 26-year-old. And in the south is actually where you took your first life. Do you remember much about that situation when you were hunting that bounty down there?
Yeah. Bit of a troublemaker, though not really somebody who probably needed to have his life taken. I'll never forget his name, nor the way he looked at me. But it was one of my first bounties. I had signed up with a local group and retrieved a bounty, and it was alive, is what they wanted. Simply a man who was high on debts and low on care. But when I had arrived, he was many a bottle in. And well, he fired off first. And I had been injured before, broken a few bones, scraped some skin. That was my first time being hit with lead. And it was also the first time I killed another man.
And as you think through this, as this memory casts over your dream self, you remember the smell of that saloon in New Mexico, as the dust, as you step in off of the main street there through the saloon doors, and you're taking your hat off as your eyes adjust to the light, and you see your bounty slumped in the chair, several empty bottles of whiskey. The patrons of the bar are sort of cowering off in fear as he waves his 6-shooter about and spews hateful rhetoric at everyone around him. And as you walk in through the door and announce your presence, you remember not even thinking. There wasn't even a conscious thought as he turned and pointed the gun at this new arrival. And you remember almost this sixth sense in the back of your mind that you knew he was going to pull the trigger and you had to be faster. As you slung your pistol, your leg iron, and fired off what you knew was a true shot, as he did himself fire. And that agony as it took you in the shoulder and the fire that spread from that wound, it was nothing compared to the moment that you saw his eyes glaze over and the pistol fall from his hand. The patrons of the saloon gathered you up and took you to the local butcher. And you remember 3 days of laying on that table with fire coming out of your shoulder and the fever that took you over those days, but none of it echoed out the pain of seeing those eyes glaze over and the pistol drop to the floor. And your dream self, you hear the echo over and over of that heavy leg iron hitting the wood floors of that saloon. You sort of grow in yourself as these memories play over, and in the distance, you see a shadowy figure approaching you. And you hear the spurs sound like they're walking on a plank floor. And it's a shadowy figure wearing a broad-brimmed hat that you recognize as Nathaniel Caldwell's. And he steps forward, and the light, this ever-present light, sort of coalesces around him, and you see that face that you just saw repeated 12 times over in that train car. You take a deep breath, and he sort of flexes his hand and throws his gun or his jacket back to expose his pistol here and his pistol on his hip. And he says, "I tried to warn you, boy. You were meddling in affairs that you had no idea would break your brain and send you spiraling into blackness."
I'm gonna fire at him.
All right. Roll me dexterity, and it's going to be a contested dexterity. Let me find I got a card for him. 1 second. Dexterity?
12. Extreme success.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm back, baby.
So he looks in your very soul almost. These eyes grow to these black pits as he stares in you, and those words echo through your head, and you yell in defiance and skin that smoke wagon and fire off as he attempts to do the same. And you get sort of this, everything slows down as the puff of smoke exits your pistol and the bullet sails through the ether in between, and it catches him high in the chest, and the pistol that's halfway out of his holster flies from his hand, and he sort of flies back in a way that you've never seen a body actually do. But it's, the scene from Snatch when Brad Pitt gets uppercutted and he flies through the air before he crashes into the water.
Yeah.
That's what takes place here. His hat flies off, and as he's flying back, his skin sort of starts to disintegrate and drift off into almost like confetti. And before he hits the ground, his body has come apart completely. And when his body hits the ground, it poof, into this smoke and confetti that just washes into the background clouds. And you feel as if you've just been dunked in a cleansing wave of water, and your body starts awake. Regain 4 points of sanity.
Is it still nighttime?
Yep. No, it's early pre-dawn. The sun is coming up. You've got that, that pre-dawn grayness where you can see everything, but there's no apparent light source.
I'm gonna collect my things. Try and wet my cotton mouth as best I can. Oh boy. Any way I can determine where I'm going right now?
The light is coming up from the east, so you can get a general direction now. You don't know exactly where you ended, but you can get a. You know that. Actually, give me a intelligence.
Regular success.
Okay, so now that you've sort of come to your, I don't know if you've fully come to your senses, but you are in more of a right mind than you were the night before. You realize, oh, I mean, based on where I was yesterday, I don't need to know exactly where I'm at. I just need to go north, because eventually I'll hit the railroad tracks. And as soon as I hit the railroad tracks, I can just follow those right into town. So with that in mind, you start heading north. You are dry. Like, you can't remember the last time that you felt this dry. You have this, the fear sweat, how it smells different than I've been out working all day. You have that smell about you. And the Old West wasn't exactly clean, but this is a different smell. You smell sour. You taste bile in the back of your throat that you don't remember throwing up. But it's just uncomfortable. You're caked with dirt from where you pitched over your horse and hit the ground. And as the sun starts to rise, it gets more warm. Your stomach growls at you in anger. But you continue on, and within 2 or 3 hours of slowly trudging, dragging your feet, you do hit the railroad tracks. If you just wanted to give it all up, you could turn right now. You're standing at a literal crossroads. You could turn right. It would be uncomfortable. You think you could survive. You know that it would take you 3 or 4 days, but a train might come along before then, and you might just catch a ride on to the next town. But you could turn right, go back to Omaha, settle back in, and give all this up. Or you could turn left, and you could head back to Big Springs and try and figure out what the hell is going on.
I'm gonna take a few steps to the right, looking off into the horizon, seeing the railroad as it continues on, and thinking about the journey that may be grueling ahead. And as my feet step, fuck you, Mr. Caldwell. And I'm going to turn around and head back to Big Springs.
With that resolution in your heart, you turn away from the rising sun and head due west towards the town of Big Springs, towards what fate has brought you. And with that, we're going to take just a real quick, short little break, because I need to use the restroom from all this coffee. And if Diana is up for it, she can do an announcement, because I think we just hit a giveaway.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to step away from the computer real quick,
Yup,
and
I'll be back too.
we will be right back.
Cool. I'm gonna go over here. Let the boys take a break. How's everybody doing? How we feeling today? Yeah, I was gonna say, I've gotten better about the whole sound thing. It used to be my downfall, but I've conquered it. I feel like I'm more capable now. So good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. So we did hit our sub goal, which means that we have a raffle open for a set of metal Die Hard dice. I've decided to do this one just a little bit differently. I'm gonna let the winner pick whatever set they want from the Die Hard Dice website because, you know, I work there, so it's pretty easy for me to negotiate specific sets. Obviously, don't go crazy. Like, we did just buy a really expensive house, so it would be cool to be able to, like, feed ourselves. But yeah, go ahead and type !LOVE over in chat to be entered in that. You know, I know I'm not supposed to pick favorites, but I kind of want Mike to win because he hasn't yet. And I feel like it's only fair. He's entered in every one we've had, I'm pretty sure. The odds have just been stacked against him. There we go, lots of entries. Also, I don't know how it's happened, but I seem to have infected Xavier's dice, so sorry about that, buddy. I feel like I did this somehow. I messed it up.
You don't feel bad, though.
Justice is saying that I don't feel bad, when in truth I actually do, because I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, let alone someone who literally saved my life several episodes ago. So announcement-y type stuff for Bard and Barbarian. So Justice and I will be altering the schedule over the next couple weeks just because we do move. So we want to make sure that we, you know, have a good streaming space set up and all of that before we dive back into plot lines like our Trials of Tartarus campaign and things like that. I also have several charity games coming up, so keep an eye on the socials to see when and where those are happening. I'm pretty excited about them. Xavier's releasing super cool Edgar Allan Poe readings right now, which is pretty rad. And yeah, we love you guys. Thanks for sharing your Saturday morning with us. Or I guess now Saturday afternoon for those of you on the East Coast. I think, boys, are you back? Are you good to go? Affirmative, I get. Okay, cool. I'm gonna kick it back over to them, but you guys are amazing. Love you, bye.
Goodbye, God.
Bye.
I've abandoned you.
Ulrich might be thinking that right now.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, I had to take a little break there, also to recage my head because that you know, I got a little deep there. Whew. All right, Ulrich, how you feeling?
Ulrich is nothing short of exhausted. He's thinking about two things: finishing this and not quitting. That's one thing, and a bath is the other thing he's thinking about.
You know, I don't blame him. That's he's a little bit dirty at this moment, this juncture, but he has a destination. You know, he has a plan, or does he? What's his plan right now?
So far as I've seen it, there is some kind of a connection here between the Pinkertons' arrival, this duplicate man, and Logan Boone's gang in terms of the railroad. There was the writ that we found in the desk. There was the information of supplies being dropped off to the gang. They're tied to the railroad, and something is being all hatched up in this town. There's got to be clues. Someone's got to know something. And being gone for as long as I have, I'm certain I'm going to get some kind of an answer when I get back.
You trudge on, and as the sun gets higher overhead, you see the town of Big Springs coming into view. You rode your horse for about an hour. You got turned around in the dark last night, and about 4 or 5 hours of walking. You start to come up on the town of Big Springs. You notice that the train is still there, but it is gearing up to pull away. You're still about half-hour walk out.
And then there are the hills, so I can see in the distance the town proper and the train.
Mm-hmm.
Though I can't see much of anything else.
No, not much detail.
All right. The last thing I want is to go through all that and get shot by some uppity son of a bitch on top of a train. And then thinking back to what I'd seen, just... I'm going to cut right. It's going to be a little bit longer, but instead of heading directly by the railroad, I'm going to hit it at like an angle and head to the back of the town.
Okay. As you continue your approach to town and you come around the backside, you hear the whistle of the train and as it starts to pull away from town.
Heading north, right?
West, further west.
Okay.
West, and then eventually it'll turn north and head up towards Cheyenne. Yeah.
All
right. The first thing you encounter as you come up to town is the tannery on this backside of town, and there is a horse trough outside of it.
Oh yeah. I need something to drink.
You dunk your head deep in the horse trough and come up with. I just want to paint this. This is for chat. Paint this picture as you dunk your head into the water and come up and shake it as the glistening water goes flashing through the afternoon sun over the town of Big Springs. There might be a couple rainbow sparkles through the prismatic sun drops, but yeah, you feel refreshed. It didn't taste good because horses have been drinking out of it, but feels better than dirt in your mouth. And now it's time to get some answers.
All right. Pick up my stuff. Head right down the main road.
Right into town. No ifs, ands, or buts?
Nope.
All right. The first thing you're going to notice as you come into town is there none of the townsfolk that you saw previously are out and about. On the I keep wanting to say porch. I don't know what the actual term is, but the boardwalk that runs in front of the stores down the side, over near the dentist, doctor, barber shop, there are two gentlemen lounging about. There's also one further down the street out front of the sheriff's office. Give me a spot hidden.
I'm gonna push my luck.
All right. How are you pushing? Oh, are you using luck, or no? You're pushing the roll. So how are you pushing the roll?
So I think at first I'd be a little perplexed, so I'll take a quick glance around, and then I'm just gonna get this creeping feeling in the back of my mind, and then I'm actually gonna stop.
You muted.
Start looking. Sorry.
Okay, so you stand there for a few crucial seconds, right there in the middle of the street, plain view, and you notice that up on the roof of the general store, so across the street from the saloon hotel, there is another gentleman standing there with a rifle. Now he is looking away from you right now towards the departing train. So you've got 4 people in your sights right now that you don't recognize. They do not have Nathaniel Caldwell's face.
I'm gonna head inside the saloon then.
Roll me a, not that you're directly trying to be stealthy, but roll me a stealth check real quick. I just want to see if these folks notice you.
Yeah, well, I failed.
They do see you because I rolled a 25. As you enter town and you walk with purpose to the saloon, the 2 gentlemen that are standing outside of the butcher, baker, candlestick maker's office turn and attempt to hail you. And you, do you stop or do you carry
These
on?
were 2 of the gentlemen I had noticed initially, or these?
Yeah. 4 people in sight, and 2 of them notice you and attempt to hail you down.
I'm not going to take this in the street. I'm going to continue on in.
All right. You walk into the inn, and you are met with a strange sight. There are so this is the hotel that you were brought into previously. So you do have a room here. So there are a few of your possessions upstairs. You enter, and as your eyesight adjusts to the less bright than outside, you're met with a strange sight. So the bartender that you had previously spoke to is standing behind the bar. He's got a smile just plastered on his face, and he says, "Welcome, come on in, stranger." There are a couple of the saloon girls. One is perched on the stairs, leaning on the banister. "Welcome." Another one is positioned over by the piano. "Welcome." That sounded like Mickey Mouse. Let's not do that. "Welcome, stranger. Come on in. Take off the load. Take your hat off and stay a while." And the mayor is seated at a table. Oh yeah, you're not wearing a hat. Seated at a table facing the door, with leaned back in his chair, smile plastered to his face. "Welcome. Come on in, stranger. Good to see you. Take a load off. Grab a whiskey."
Yeah, howdy do. Just gonna pop on up to my room if you don't mind. Been a bit of a rough night.
"Your room? Have we met before, stranger?"
No, I don't believe I've met you, good sir. I'm just passing on through. No need to worry.
"Oh, there's no worries in this town. This is the town of Big Springs. Welcome."
Yeah. I'm just gonna walk up the stairs. I might have my vacant hand, hovering about my hip, just in case.
None of them move to intercept you. None of them move at all. You pass right by the young lady that's leaned on the banister. She stays leaned on the banister, but as you pass her, she says, "Welcome. Just call if you need any company."
and then I'm gonna head to my room and lock that door so quick.
As you enter your room and you see you didn't leave a lot of possessions here because a lot of your stuff stays on your horse on your saddlebag. But yeah, there's one other bag that you had left there, with your change of clothes and the stuff, your dop kit, your razor, and that stuff that you would have left by the nightstand there.
Do I have any water in here?
There's a pitcher of water there on your nightstand that you would.
Yep. I'm gonna pour a glass and then wet a rag, kind of wipe off my face and neck and armpits, and clean myself up as best I can with a wet rag, because I think that's all I might be able to get in the moment. I'm gonna start changing my clothes as quickly as I can. Is there a window in the room?
Yeah, there's a window at the back of the inn. There's an awning over the top of it, and you do hear commotion downstairs. Which way did that guy go? Welcome, stranger. Oh, God damn it! Why'd they have to? Which? Heidi. And you just hear that dialogue go again as they look around, and then you hear boots on the stairway.
All right. I'm gonna position a door underneath the knob. A
chair?
Yeah. What'd I say? A door beneath the knob? A door
underneath the knob.
I'm gonna position a chair beneath
Look, you've had a hard night. I understand.
Yeah. Yep. And are there shutters on the window?
Yes.
Yeah, those were drawn as soon as I got in. But as I change and keep an ear open for whatever's happening out there, I'm going to peek through the slats as best I can and just try and get a survey of everything as I button up.
Out the back of the inn, the saloon hotel thing, there's a stable yard. Or the stockyard, I guess, where the community houses their horses and wagons and stuff like that. And it's more of an alley out the backside here.
Okay. All right, all fastened up. Grab my spare hat, and I'm going to ensure that my weapons are all fully loaded. And what have I heard outside the door in this time?
You now hear, let's say you're the third room down, and you hear somebody knock on the first door and open it while you're changing and grabbing all your stuff. And then you hear somebody 4 foot falls. So there's actually, give me a roll. Let's see. Give me a tracking roll.
Regular success.
You notice that there are 2 people out in the hall, and you hear them go down to the second door, knock on it, open it, look in, and then they're coming down the hall towards your room.
Have I all geared up at this point?
Yep.
Two pistols drawn. I'm not going to unlock the door or move the chair.
Okay.
But I'm just going to stand there, both them trained about torso height, and I'm going to wait.
All right. You hear a knock on the door, and then the handle is tried.
Occupied.
Open up in there. Come on out. We're the law in this town, and we need to check all strangers coming in.
Don't you know it's unkind to rustle a man from his relaxation?
Now listen, we are Pinkerton detectives, and we're investigating a murder in this here town, and we have the authority of the law to break this door down and come in and talk to you.
Oh, I'm sure you Pinkerton lot do have the authority that you seek. Though you're speaking to the deputy of this here town. Have you spoken to the sheriff?
All law in this town has been abolished by order of the Union Pacific Railroad due to nefarious activities going on in these premises in which a Pinkerton detective and a detective of the Union Pacific Railroad were murdered in these streets. The mayor has given over all cooperation and revoked all law-abiding, all power held by the previous sheriff.
You mean
Now-
good old Chucklehead down there? What'd you do to him?
We demand that you open this door. We're the ones that gonna be doing the questioning here.
Only if you count to 3.
Now, mister, we've about run out of patience here.
1,
You open this door.
2,
All right,
and I'm gonna blast both of them.
All right, are you unloading both barrels?
Yep, and then I'm gonna toss both the guns on the bed, unsling the rifle, and wait.
Roll me a attack with handguns. You know what? We're going to use an alternative ruling here real quick. It's for fanning the pistol, or for dual wielding. There's actually some really good rules in here for this stuff.
Oh.
Because you're not actually aiming at anything, I rolled some dodge rolls here real quick. Dual welding. Penalty die is applied to all in case of firearms and multiple shot rule, but that doesn't really work because you're not aiming at anything. So instead, we're going to.
I'm just peppering that door, man.
You're unloading 12 rounds into the door.
Yep.
Both were standing right there.
Note, I'm gonna start at chest height, and then like kind of move down a little bit in case they may have dropped, and just as all the shots.
Okay, roll me 2 attack rolls for handguns.
All right. Sorry, it turns out I didn't put them on my sheet, so I got to pull them up in the directory.
So your handguns, you've got 36, and then the directory is going to be for damage, I believe.
Okay.
What kind of guns do you? What pistols do you carry, good sir?
Don't think they were anything too crazy. They could have been Jesus Christ, Colts.
Okay.
Colt revolvers. Come on, we got this. What page is weapons on?
Page 40.
Page 40. Oh, there it is. Empty the chamber. There. Okay. All right. Colt Navy. 36 Colt Navy.
Okay.
So that's 1d8.
If you hit
Is that
them.
what I'm rolling?
Nope,
Oh, you want me to roll to attack, right?
Yeah, roll 2 firearms for handguns attacks.
Okay. That is 1 success. Oh my god, and the second one is an extreme success. I got 2.
I rolled a 21 and a 14 for their dodge, which would also be successes. They would be so one is so what were your two successes, regular and extreme? Okay.
Jesus. Yes.
So your regular is actually going to miss, but your extreme success hits. So roll me a d8 for damage.
I know what a d8 looks like. 7.
Okay. You hear a as you know, you winged one of them at least, and then the door gets kicked open with a just a force that sends that chair scooching across the floor, and the already weakened door just kind of comes apart in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And Roll me dex real quick.
Regular success.
Okay. What was your number?
52.
All right. So you're gonna get to fire the rifle, but based on what I rolled, he's gonna fire his 6-shooter first as he kicks the door open.
All right.
So we're actually gonna give you the choice. Do you want to attempt to dodge as he comes in through the door, or fight back?
Oh, I definitely would have as soon as, bam, I would have shot as soon as that door was coming open.
Okay. So we're gonna both roll attack. You can roll with the rifle, and I will roll with firearms.
Just a regular success, but I'm. All right. Damn it! I'll take the regular success.
Okay. So the door kicks in. He comes in with his pistol, and you fire that rifle, that Monroe masterpiece that hung over the fireplace, and he fires as you fire, and your rifle round catches him square in the chest with the close range power of a rifle like this, just knocks him back through the door, over the railing into the bar below. And his shot whistles past your head and sticks into the door, or the wall behind you.
Huh. All right. I'm going to pop an ear out.
You don't hear anything immediately, which is strange considering you just shot a man over the railing into the bar below.
Mm-hmm.
You hear actually, I guess we should roll me damage. That was a good success, but yeah, roll me damage on that.
Nah,
rifle.
He just disappeared.
Which I think we decided on the. It was a big rifle, wasn't it?
12. Oh yeah, 12 damage.
Oh, yeah, he's smoked. You toasted him. You hear a whimpering and the kicking of heels as the first person that was behind the door is sort of mewling there on the floor outside your door, but you don't hear anything else.
That's what I was listening for. So, cocking the lever, I'm going to step over some of the wood, take a look down at this gentleman. Rifle held, not aimed at him yet. What's your name?
He's gonna his pistol has fallen out of his grip, and it's over to the side, and he's gonna there's a good size blood pool welling out from his chest. He's gonna cough, and some of the blood is gonna come out of his mouth in a bright mist, and he's gonna reach in. He's gonna attempt to weakly paw at his jacket. Cough once more, and then die.
I'm gonna head back in to the room.
Okay.
Reload my guns. Do I hear any commotion outside?
You do now hear another commotion at the front door. Lots of cussing. What's going on here? Welcome, stranger. Come on in. Have a drink. Shut the fuck up. What happened to Dave? Nothing happening here, stranger. Come on in. God damn it. And there, you're gonna hear boots on the stair.
All right. So I'm gonna pistols reholstered. With the rifle, I'm going to peek out from around the door frame, using it a bit as cover, sticking out the barrel. And then, can I see the stairs from the doorway?
Yeah, it's an open, so the stairs go up, and then it's like just a walkway with a railing there.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to make it kind of quick. Open. I'm going to try and make it quick. I'm going to definitely aim, but I don't often get in shootouts. I try to talk my way through things. But Yeah, I'm definitely gonna take a bead precautiously.
Okay,
And
as you stick your head out, you see three more gentlemen on the stairs, and they are coming up fast. Um, go ahead and fire a rifle at disadvantage.
um, regardless, oh my god. Yeah, I mean I failed. It wasn't by too bad, but missed out on a extreme success there. But that's all right.
So you fire off a round, and they all duck their heads, um, and kind of fire. You actually, yeah, roll me a dodge.
Regular success.
Okay, you fire off a round with the rifle, and then duck back behind the door frame right as the door frame there gets peppered with a couple shots.
All right. I'm gonna
Damn,
jump out
we're
the
in a
window.
tight spot. Okay, you open the window and step out, and there's an awning that goes out the back of this. It's not an actual railing or an actual walkway, but there is a slope of a roof there that runs the full length.
People just milling about as if nothing's happening.
No, there's nobody out on the streets. That was the strange thing. Nobody but the detectives.
Oh, okay.
And so you're coming out the backside where there is the stables there,
Mm-hmm.
and an alley off to the left that goes back towards the main street. There's an alley between the saloon and the next building.
Okay. This window, because it's coming out of the roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means the roof in the room would have been angled.
You're on the second floor, so the window lets out onto like maybe 3 feet wide that's just slightly sloped, that just there to shed rainwater, but there is a roof above you still.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna mantle up on that as quickly as I can and bead the gun down.
So are you trying to get on there's a roof above you? Sorry, I'm not.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, shit.
Now, as you look left, there are 2 more rooms before you
Mhm.
hit the alley, so there are windows that way. And then to the right, there's another window for the 4th room, and then the building ends.
And then the right would lead me deeper into town, right?
As you're looking out the window,
Mhm.
with the saloon, hotel at your back,
Yep.
left leads deeper into town, right leads towards the
Okay.
outskirts of town.
Okay. All right. I think I've got this all mapped out.
Yeah, sorry.
You're good. You're good. Cool. Yep, I'm gonna skirt around to the end of the roof as quickly as I can, taking a couple glances back. And when I get to the edge of the roof, I want to lean against it and peek around.
Okay, you're going which direction, right or left?
Left.
Okay, further into town.
Yep.
So behind you hear, once you're almost to the edge of the roof there, you hear the door, the remnants of the door get kicked in. And then as you're poking your head around, you don't see anything down this alley. And the next building is about 3 feet away. What's an alley? About 6 feet away. 3 feet would be a very narrow alley.
All right. I'm gonna sling the gun over my back and pop down.
Okay. As you're popping down, a bearded face sticks his head out of the window and fires off a couple shots at you. Ooh. I rolled an extreme success. A 4.
Wowee.
You are dropping down, and as you're about to sling yourself over the edge there to get down, 2 pistol shots ring out. and you feel a burning sensation high up in your right up here in the meat of your shoulder.
Fuck.
Of your left arm as you take 2 points of damage. And that left arm is going to be a little trickier to use now. So as you're dropping down, you actually hit harder than you intended. As that pain radiates out.
Shit. I'm gonna now doubly secure the rifle, take it over my head, so it's strapped over completely. Pull out the pistol with my right arm. Oh God.
In the way that the buildings are, you're currently not in view of like, you don't have to worry immediately about taking another shot right now, because there's the roof awning and then the alley immediately to your left.
Okay. So I'm certain I hear them at this point running.
Yep,
the direction
they're out on the awning now, coming your way.
Do I hear any other noise? Would you like me to roll?
You don't immediately hear anything right now.
What I wouldn't do for a potato masher right now. Except those weren't invented yet. Just dynamite. Do they have dynamite? Do I recall somebody mentioning dynamite?
I mean, dynamite exists. They've been using it to blast mines, and it's one of the leading things. Dynamite and glycerin has paved the way for the railroad getting through the Rockies.
Yeah. But they have some here? Can I use some form of knowledge to think if they would have dynamite? You know, it's not close enough. I got to deal with this right now. Maybe later. Shit. All right. Okay. What's the building next to me?
The general stores across the way. This is actually the sheriff's office is right here.
No, I'm going in.
So you're going to go down the alley towards the main street of town?
I don't think I've yet been to the sheriff's office, so I don't want to run the risk of there not being a back door. So yeah, I'm going to do my best hugging underneath this against the building, gun ready. And then when I get to the end of it, I'm just going to sprint to the door and try and open it.
Okay. Roll me a spot hidden as you come out onto Main Street.
That is a... Oh, I'm going to spend 2 luck.
Okay. As you come out of the alley, you notice that the person on the roof is still there. His eyes are trained over on the saloon door, and he's got his rifle at the ready. As you take a right down the boardwalk towards the sheriff's office. You do hear commotion coming down the alley as the 3 gentlemen drop down off of the roof and come hell-bent towards you. The sheriff's office is unlocked. As you open the door, you notice there are 2 jail cells, a cot, a small little cook stove, a desk, and no back door. You don't have to commit to going in if you don't want to at this point, but you have opened that door, and they are coming down the alley behind you.
So as I see this, I'm just going to push it like so that it swings all the way open, and then I'm going to try and duck around the right corner of the sheriff's building.
Down the next alley there. Okay. Let's I'm gonna roll to see if these guys are fooled. Yeah, I rolled real poorly. So you kick this door open and run down the alley or down the street and hang a right down the next alley. As the 3 Pinkerton detectives come out of the alley, and they see the door, and they come up on it they stack up against the wall, and they yell to the gentleman on the roof, "Hey, which way did he go?" "I don't know. I didn't see him. I was watching the saloon." "Ah, you're worthless, Jeb." Jeb's the only name in my. We'll retcon that later. His name's not actually Jeb. "You're worthless. What good's having a lookout if you don't look out?" And they start to creep slowly towards the sheriff's door.
This would be a great moment for some dynamite.
It would be, yeah.
All right. So they're approaching the door, all three of them single file, or did
Yep.
they mark up on the door?
No, right now, because they haven't come around yet. So right now, situation as it stands, we got the sheriff's building here.
Mhm.
You are down the next alley,
Mhm.
and they are all three up against the wall, approaching the sheriff's door because they can see that it's open from where they came around. The person up on the roof, you can't see them, but now presumably they are Overwatch on the sheriff's door.
I don't care what I have to spend in order to pull this off, but I'm going to come around the corner using the wall kind of to stabilize myself, and as quickly as I can line up the heads. Pop, pop, pop.
You're gonna attempt a targeted roll on the three gentlemen.
Yep.
All right. Roll me 3 handgun checks.
That is one failure I can't make up with luck.
Okay.
That is one hard. Is that 18 or 13? I think it's 18. That's a hard
18.
success. And a regular success. So a fail, a hard, and a regular.
All right. Roll me 2 damages.
8 and 6.
Okay. Yeah, you come around the corner and fire off 3 rounds in quick succession. Pop, 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 and you catch him by surprise. The first one sort of ducks his head, and your round connects right into the wall. The second one catches the second gentleman right square in the forehead. His head rocks back, and he just falls limp. And the third bullet catches the next guy a little lower, right in the neck collarbone area, and he clutches it, drops his pistol, and kind of falls back away with his lifeblood pulsing out between his fingers. Roll me a dodge.
I'm pushing my luck on that. I got to. I have to.
Man,
I take a shot from this, I'll be cut in half.
Ulrich is not going to have much luck left when he rejoins the party, if he makes it.
Wait. No. Yeah, I gotta push my luck. Oh, God. Yes. That's just a regular success, but hopefully it's what I needed. It was better than what I got.
You push the roll?
I pushed the roll.
Okay. So you lean out a little further than you probably should, but you've got a bullet in your arm right now, and you draw bead and you pop pop pop. Take 3 shots, quick succession. Drop 2 of them, as a rain of bullets comes down from the lookout across the way on top of the general store. They pepper the building around you, and as you pull back, you catch a splinter right across the brow as it cuts you pretty deep, but blood starts to pool down into your eye, but no bullet catches you.
Okay. Give me 1 second, all right?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think he might be going to get some makeup.
Is this Ulrich dying? Is that what's happening right now?
I'm not sure. Hi, Rick. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the fun.
Okay, so, next course of action. Oh boy. I think at this point, hiding around the corner. All right. You fuckers better start talking before I lay you all down.
What's there to talk about? You've
Don't
now
give me-
killed.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to kill you fucking man. I know you ain't no Pinkertons.
Oh, we're Pinkertons, and something's gonna land at your feet, kind of tossed out into the alley. And as you look down, it's a badge. It's a Pinkerton badge with the crest right there on top of it.
You know, that's quite the funny little thing, ain't it? I'm gonna pull out the badge I have and I'm gonna toss it around the corner.
So you are the one that killed. Hold up, this dude actually has a name. Oh man. Okay. If somebody goes back and watches the old VODs, we've changed names at some point. Nathaniel Caldwell was the name of the Pinkerton detective, and Carl Cartwright. Carl Cartwright was the actual gunslinger. Whoops. So retcon all that. Carl is the gentleman whose face you saw all over the place. Nathaniel.
Nope, it's too late. We already had a whole moment.
You were the one that killed Nathaniel. Or Carl. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. You killed the previous Pinkerton detective that came to town. We got a warrant for your arrest, mister. And let me tell you, you ain't gonna have any rest from sunup to sundown until you surrender yourself. You've now killed 3 more Pinkerton detectives, and you damn well better be sure that we're coming after you with an vengeance.
Yeah, I'm certain you are. What is it you've done with the people of this town?
We didn't do nothing.
Oh yeah, y'all just found them this way, huh?
Yeah? The Union Pacific Railroad folks came through and sorted them out for us, just like they do in the towns all across this country. Now, you best move on. Come on, surrender yourselves right now.
This goes pretty deep then.
A rifle shot rings out and a bullet connects on the other side of the alley. We got you in our sights. You come on out of here peaceful like, and you might just survive to a proper hanging.
You had your sights on me, you'd have hit me, you dumb son of a bitch. I'm gonna scoot my way to the right around the back of the building.
Okay. The stables are back there, and there are several horses tied up.
He's got a rifle. He's gonna hit me if I take off.
Well, he can't see you right now because he's on Main Street, and you are protected by the buildings of Main Street right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, if I'm riding on horseback, he's gonna get a train on me. So I'm gonna get into the stable. And I'm gonna spook the horses. I'm gonna fire above them.
Okay. What's your intention with this?
Create noise and hide.
And are you going to stay there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably, how serendipitous. I'll probably get up to the top of the stable and hide in some hay and maybe reflect for a little bit.
All right.
As I reload.
You are injured. You are bleeding right now. And climbing up on top of a hayloft might be a little difficult. Um, I'm going to be a little heavy-handed as a storyteller here and lay out some clues for you. If you were to take a horse and ride, you would be protected for quite a while for the buildings of Main Street. Especially if you were to release a bunch of other horses to go tearing about town. You know that you know of only two more Pinkertons in town right now, one on the roof, one on the sheriff's porch.
Actually, I like one of the things you said there. I'm gonna spook the horses still, and as I like start to try and climb up to the top, I get this pain in my back, and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm so far dug into this, ain't no other choice than to finish it. So I'm gonna stop, and I'm just gonna open each gate with these horses.
and get them all tearing out of there.
Mm-hmm.
The horses go running. You know, a lot of them are used to gunfire and whatnot, but they're also herd animals. So if you can get one moving in a direction, they'll all start moving that direction.
Is there a door here that leads to Main Street?
This is a wider than an alley, so it's about 10 feet across from the back of the sheriff's building and the hotel to the front of the stables. And if you can get them out and move in a direction, it'd be hard to get them to go down the alley towards Main Street. They're probably going to want to run left or right, as those are the wider avenues.
All right. Well, it's distraction enough, so I get them out of there.
All right. As you give me an animal handling and tell me which direction you're trying to get them to go.
Try and get them all to go left.
Further into town or away from town?
So I want them to go away from town. I want it to pull attention outward.
Back the way you came in to town?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I failed my animal handling because I'm not very good with creatures.
Okay. What number did you roll?
I got a 40 flat.
Okay. I know this is not proper Call of Cthulhu etiquette, but I wanted you to get under 50 because it's panicked animals. You really aren't trying to handle them. You're just trying to get them to go a direction. And horses, as you know from your experience, all you'd have to do is kind of stand in their direction and wave, and they would go the other way. So you get them going back away from town. And there's about 8 horses, so they make a pretty good ruckus as they run out of town. And you hear the one that you'd been talking to, "What in tarnation?" And you hear his footsteps as he goes running back towards the saloon to see what is going on. Like, he's running in the direction the horses are going.
Okay, perfect. Does this give me an opportunity to see him?
If you're still in that back alley where the corral is, you'll have to move out towards Main Street to see him.
I see. Okay. Good. Then I'm going to cut around to the right or the left into town.
Okay.
And just slowly, meticulously keep my eyes up, keep my ears open, try and figure out position where these two are. If he's still on the roof, cool. If he's chasing after horses or whatever, cool. I just want to know where they are as I slowly try and make my way back to where I could lay an eye on either of them.
Okay. He is definitely taken off in the direction of the horses. And you can't hear anything from the roof, but if you were to peek your head out there, you can see that he is also running towards the edge of the roof that he's on and drawing a bead as he's looking out towards the edge of town to see what's going on.
All right. I'm going to take off that rifle. Has he stopped in order to take his aim?
He has.
All right. And then is there a railing on the boardwalk?
Yes.
That's going to be my support. I'm going to try and take aim on him.
All right. Believe it or not, there's actual rules in here for supported weapons, so you get to roll with
Nice.
advantage. Roll a rifle shot with advantage.
Okay, that was a regular success, but let's see how good this is gonna be. Still a regular success. It got lower, but whatever.
That's going to be all right. There's no signage or anything protecting this gentleman. He is standing tall with his rifle aimed at the horses as they come into view at the edge of town. He is silhouetted against the sun that's coming up over town, and you get a clean shot on him. Go ahead and roll damage.
Poetic. 10.
The rifle cracks out, and he kind of arches his back and throws the rifle comes up out of his hand, and he tumbles off the edge of the roof. As the rifle cracks out, the other gentleman that was running away kind of Scooby-Doos and turns back around and draws bead on you. And he's going to fire with his pistol.
Firing. This guy goes down. Turn to look at the other one who's now taking aim at me. I'm just going to drop and pull the gun as I fall. There's nowhere I can go for cover. I'm way out in the open right now.
Yeah. He fires his .45 revolver at you. And give me dodge.
If I go out, at least I'm going out like a badass, all right? That is a hard success. 15.
I got a regular success. You fire that rifle. The other Pinkerton Scooby-Doos turns around, sees you, and fires in a rush. You drop as his bullet flies by and grazes your neck. You feel a white-hot poker of pain as it slides past your neck, and blood wells up, but just a graze. And you hit the ground with a and knocks the breath out of you. Pain shoots through your left shoulder, because based on the way that you're dodging right now, that's where you landed.
And I gotta fire back.
Give me a handgun at disadvantage as you're falling.
That's a failure.
Your shot goes wide, and he's advancing on you.
I'm gonna fire again.
All right, we're gonna do a contested fire. Man,
That's a
now
failure.
I'm rolling poor. I rolled poorly as well.
We're both just.
Yeah, I mean, there's dust flying up from the horses. You've been shot.
I'm gonna keep going until I get this guy.
Or he gets you.
You know what? So when I dropped, where'd the rifle go? Did it just fall off down?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna pick it up and roll, and try and fire him with the rifle.
Okay. He's coming at you, just firing steady as he's walking. So roll a rifle at disadvantage.
Okay. Regular success.
All right. Oh, Xavier. That is a hard success on his fire back.
Okay.
Roll your damage. We're gonna do this gunfighter style.
10.
How many hit points you got?
8.
Counting the 2 you took earlier?
Yep.
Man, I rolled a 2 on damage.
Oh.
I gotta see what a
Another
45
bit of lead in
does.
me, though.
Yeah. A 45 revolver does. Oh, I was rolling for a cold peacemaker. We'll do that. Okay, just a straight D8. He fires his gun back at you as you're laying on the ground. You got a rifle clutched in your hands. You've got pain shooting through your left side. You draw and fire as he's advancing, firing, steady. Your roll kind of catches him off guard, and as your rifle round connects square in his chest and he jerks, he gets one more shot and catches you right in the calf for another 2 points of damage. But he falls. So we've got Ulrich Wolf laying bloody, exhausted, dirty on the boardwalk in front of the sheriff's office. Chaos all around as the horses run out of town. The last Pinkerton detective falls dead in front of the saloon. The sun rises high as the heat continues to grow, and that is where we're going to leave our adventure for the time.
All right. Holy shit. That was a
So we've murdered a bunch of Pinkerton detectives in the town of Big Springs. Something strange is going on here, as all of the citizens, nobody came out to investigate through this whole thing. We will be back. Keep an eye on our calendar, please, because the next time that we are scheduled for Iron Dust and Blood, we will be relocating that week. So we got to make sure we have internet and streaming studio all set up and ready to go. So we might have to delay a little bit more during that week, but we will keep you all posted. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Lord Fancy. Tell us where folks can find you and what you got going on these days.
You're muted, love.
I will be absent to the middle to end of November, but you can find me on my Twitch channel. You can also find us on YouTube. Amanda and I have been cutting together her art, and we've been doing something new this month with reading classic horror stories by Edgar Allan Poe, and Amanda's been doing a unique art piece for each. So we've been putting those there. I put the link in chat. We would love if you went and checked it out for us. And yeah, that's my time.
Yeah, head over there and give them some love. Lovecraft. I actually found this really awesome book at Costco. It's got like this real fancy stuff. So we might take a page out of your book and maybe do some Lovecraft stuff if we have to bow out for a Call of Cthulhu night. Thank you so much, and thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much for the subs. Do we want to do our giveaway?
We've already done it.
Oh, who won?
Brandon.
Oh, congratulations, Brandon.
Brandon won. So I'm going to double check. I don't want to take too much time because I know Xavier has to scoot, but I am going to see who else is online, and we'll do a little raid here.
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming in and joining us. Remember, we've got Monday this week. We're over on Wandering DM for our Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign. And stay tuned for more exciting things.
We're gonna raid Dante because we
Yay,
love